A gorgeous day here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. We are live for Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rob Adams. Donald Eng will join me. We've got Frank Granito in the house as well, as we are at the ballpark at Harbor Yard for the FCAC semifinals coming up later today. And, of course, looking forward to that. Game number one will be the Darien Blue Wave and the Norwalk Bears, followed by the Trumbull Eagles and the Fairfield Ward Mustangs. But let's bring Don in and get things going on this edition of Nutmeg Sports. Don, happy Monday.
It is a happy Monday. We're here. It's a beautiful day. We've got baseball coming up. And, one of the things that people talk about when we talk about sports and baseball today, everyone's concerned about head injury. And we're here with Jason Klein of Force 3 Pro Gear, who has, Connecticut guy, Connecticut company, revolutionizing the safety of sporting equipment. Jason, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
So you're from Orange, and your company is based in Derby. How did you get into the manufacture and now distribution of sports equipment?
I was a minor league umpire for 10 years, and my first year in AAA, I started developing equipment. This is the latest piece of equipment that I've developed, and it's a big crossover into the player world, and we're very excited. We're able to reduce the severity index of injury to the head by up to 50%. So it's already making an impact at the major league level and amateur sports as well, high school, all the way down to Little League. So we're very excited.
And now you said you'd done some professional umpiring as far as the AAA level. So, we watch it on TV and everyone kind of smiles when it happens. But, the umpire takes a foul tip of a 90-mile-an-hour fastball off the mask. What's that like?
Well, I mean, the only time I've smiled is that when I had a catcher that I didn't like that got hit. But even then, I didn't smile for long because it would happen to me. And we need time. So I'd give the catcher time. The catcher would give the umpire time. It's a very traumatic experience. So you get hit in the head. You have to feel if your teeth are still there, if you're bleeding. It takes a lot of wind out of you, and it takes a while to get you back up to speed.
Jason, you were telling us before the show that there's a history here, that in reality, we had not seen changes to any kind of headgear in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the traditional mask was debuted about 139 years ago, and we were about 4 days shy of that anniversary to revolutionize it at the major league level anyway. So we're very excited that we're able to really make an impact on the game.
Of course, helmets really didn't come along until the 1950s, a little bit earlier, but on a widespread basis in the 50s, I remember that being the case. But in terms of catcher's masks, like you said, 139 years. We really needed to kind of step up on that regard, considering, head injury is such a big deal in sports today.
It definitely was time, and we're very thankful that we were the ones that started developing this about 5 years ago. So it's not like we saw that this was a need. I mean, we started developing this when the word concussion didn't even really exist. It wasn't even talked about, and the timing couldn't be any better for us. And we're just so happy with the results that we've gotten and the people that we're able to protect.
Right. Now, we have some examples here. Can you explain to us a little bit about how this works? I mean, it looks like you said it was a two-piece mask that... a two-piece mask and an integral helmet system.
Yeah, it's a two-piece system. So the top mask is totally independent of the bottom mask, and it's only connected by the spring assemblies. They're all independent. So when you move it, each one, depending on where you get hit, those spring assemblies move. So the mask isn't pushing it into your face. The top mask is absorbing the impact through the springs, and that's what's giving us the best results.
Now, the company's been around for about 5 years, but officially launched about a year ago, and you've already got major league player, or a major league player wearing it, and other major league systems using it throughout their minor league system. The ECAC colleges are now adopting it. How has that been? This has to have been like absolute best case scenario.
It's been great. I mean, agents have been contacting us. Major league players have contacted us. I mean, the only reason that you only see one major league player wearing it right now is just because the others are under contract to wear other equipment. But I can guarantee you that more players are going to be wearing it next year. I mean, right now I know it's being worn in the minor leagues by many players and umpires, and especially college and amateur umpires are wearing this.
How tough is it to get those kinds of contracts? Like, take us behind the scenes of what goes into that world.
It's actually not that difficult because we have a product that's just not another product with a different logo on it. This is actually a piece of safety equipment that's going to keep their players safe. I mean, 2 days before I met Kurt Suzuki in Minnesota, he got knocked out of a game. So their agents reached out to us, and we went out to Minnesota. We actually met with him and Wieters before the game, the Orioles catcher, and they both have masks. So, I mean, getting it to them is not an issue. It's just getting everything lined up so they can wear it officially is what we're doing right now. So you're going to see this more and more, especially next year and the year after.
And that's interesting, getting them to wear it officially. Now, is there Major League Baseball has to get involved, or the Players Association?
No, actually, both have been very supportive. Major League Baseball, they've gotten our masks to test. They're very happy, and they're very proactive in getting safer equipment for their players. They can't mandate any player to wear anything they want, but it's only in their best interest of the players to wear the best that they possibly can. So that's the step we're at right now with everything.
And again, this is a Connecticut-based company and a local guy right here. You went to school locally.
I did. I went to Springfield College, but in high school I went to Amity, so I was through the whole Amity system. So I've lived here my whole life.
And I was going to say, yeah, and you started your business. When you started your business, you're based right down in Derby.
Right in Derby on Route 34. Yep. People walk in the shop, and unfortunately, we don't have any masks to give them or sell them. But we're working on that. We're getting them as fast as possible.
But you do have other things, as you said, that your company offers as well.
We do. We have a whole line of umpire equipment. Plus, we're coming out with a whole line of catching equipment: the chest protector, shin guards, everything that you can think of for a catcher. We're doing it, and we're taking it a level up. I mean, we want to be the best out there. We don't want to just have another piece of equipment with a different logo on it. We want to develop equipment that's better than what's out there right now.
On a personal level, you said you were a minor league umpire. What leagues were you in?
I took the East track, so I started off in the Gulf Coast League, then New York Penn, South Atlantic, Carolina, Eastern, International, and then a handful of Major League Spring games.
I have to admit, I have a great deal of affection for the New York Penn League. I did a bunch of games in that league.
They call that the Big Little League, the minor Little League. So, I mean, the minor Big League, however you want to say it. But going from the Gulf Coast to the New York Penn and then the South Atlantic, you don't get much better than the New York Penn League with the stadiums and the cities. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've seen that really develop. The Connecticut Tigers were involved. You got the Hudson Valley Renegades. I mean, teams around this area and Staten Island, Brooklyn, all good places to go watch baseball.
Yeah, I was still in it though when you had places like Utica and Oneonta. So I still got the feel of the real minor leagues. But you go to that league this year, it's not fair really, because you kind of go down a step. When you get promoted.
Nothing like Damashki Field up in Oneonta, New York.
Yeah,
it seems like, a great product that has a chance to be revolutionary. I would imagine overall that's the goal.
The goal is to keep people safe. I mean, to have it at the major league level, it's a huge honor. Don't get me wrong, but that's not our market. Our market is to get it, to the children, to the youth, and actually give them a piece of equipment that's going to protect them. So you don't have to have mom and dad say, you know what, you want to play baseball, that's fine, but you're not going to be the catcher. Even though catching is probably one of the most important, positions in baseball and most rewarding, to tell someone they can't play something because of a possible head injury, that's the problem. And I think that you're going to see that. As soon as we get this out there more and more, people are going to lift that restriction. I mean, we're having, customers contacts from all over the world about Little League and high school and travel leagues and college getting these for their children, and that's the best part.
Well, we were talking earlier off the air that the ECAC, which is 300 different schools at various levels of competition, made your company the official sports equipment, the official catcher's gear manufacturer. And you had mentioned that MIT was the baseball champs this year. If any folks know about physics and protecting your brain, it would be those guys.
I know. I was actually a little bit nervous that it was an MIT because I didn't want them to take this and pick it apart and say, because I certainly don't have an engineering background, but we did bring this to people that do have an engineering background, and we're able to get it designed for us so we could bring it to a manufacturer. I can tell you, I've tested this mask at least 100 times, and with different foam formulations and different spring formulations and different weights, and we've got this thing dialed in so that it'll give you the best result possible.
How do you test it?
It's tested on the same machines that like the hockey style masks are tested. The standard for a hockey style mask is a 70-mile-an-hour softball. So we tested with a 70-mile-an-hour softball, but we also test it one farther and we go 100-mile-an-hour baseball. And that's what Major League Baseball got excited about. Even Major League Baseball, they told me that they only tested 86 miles an hour. So if we can test it at 100 miles an hour and get a great result, we know that there's nothing out there that's going to be better. So we hit it everywhere, here, every kind of angle that we possibly can, just to make sure that it's as safe as it could possibly be.
I mean, I've seen it happen at least once a game, either to a catcher or an umpire. It happens all the time.
Absolutely, and we want to be the mask on the other side where they get hit and not taken out of the game, versus having a mask that gets someone taken out of the game.
And otherwise, response has been really good, and you're getting promotion, you're getting the word out there.
Response has been amazing. I mean, you're bringing a piece of equipment that no one has ever seen before. While it might look traditional, there's really nothing traditional about it. So we're very happy to get in front of the right people as far as like Major League players. And even the Players Association has been incredibly helpful with us, and they're going to do anything possible to keep their players safe. I mean, think about the impact at the Major League level. If we can keep a player on the field for 1 or 2 years longer than they would have played, and not only that, but look at the 20 years down the road after they're done playing, where they're going to have the problems that come from head injury versus wearing our mask and having a useful, productive life after baseball.
And just from a purely economic standpoint, you know, a $10 million a year catcher, they don't want him missing 2 months with an injury.
The worst thing you could do for a baseball player is take him out of the game. I mean, they make their living on putting numbers up, so they can't put numbers up if they're off the field.
Jason, best of luck with this. Stay in touch with us. We want to talk more about it. Sounds like a great product, and, you know, we're baseball guys anyway, so good luck.
Glad to do it. Thanks very much.
All right. Jason Klein joining us from Force 3 Pro Gear. We take a break. Don and I come back. Frank Granito's going to come join us for a couple of minutes as well. Got a lot of things to talk about on a Monday Nutmeg Sports right here on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart, bank local, bank well. With the 24-month Bank Well Smart CD, you can earn 1.35% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook. For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports on a Monday on the HAN Network. I'm Rob Adams. Don stepped out for a moment. We still have Athletes of the Week to get to. We'll tell you who won last week, and we'll name the nominees for this week. But my broadcast partner, Frank Granito, joins me now. And although I won't have you for the 2 games tonight, you and I are going to be spending a lot of time together.
And it's going to be a very exciting week. Across the board in all the FCX sports we get to cover, there are going to be a lot of good matchups, especially starting in the semifinals over the next few days where we've got a lot of rivalry games coming up.
We should go back first and go through the highlights of Friday and Saturday. We saw baseball Friday. Frank and I specifically saw Darien and Danbury. In Danbury, you might want to look away at what we're getting ready to show you, and then we'll have some highlights as well that Dave Stewart shot from Norwalk and Ridgefield, as well, as both those teams are making their way down here to Harbor Yard in a little bit. We can do those highlights. We also have lacrosse highlights that Frank and I called on Saturday. Why don't we start with Darien and Danbury from Friday, baseball highlights, and then we'll follow that up with the other baseball game, Norwalk and Ridgefield, before we get to lacrosse right here on Nutmeg Sports. I'm Rob Adams. Today we've got the 1-8 matchup, the top seed, the Darien Blue Wave, hosting the number 8 seed, the Danbury Hatters, on a stunningly beautiful day at Darien High School. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, bases loaded. A long look in. The left-handed batting Drake ready. The 0-1. Ripped into right field, a base hit. Scoring is Brereton. Brown making the turn. He will hold right there as Mike Scott holds him up. The bases stay loaded. An RBI single for Chris Drake. 1-0 Darien. A better start in this at-bat. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 in. 1-0. Fastball. Rope to left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Brown has scored. O'Malley stops. Keep moving them station to station as the throw comes in to home plate. 2-0 Blue Wave. Drake with the bases loaded. Brings it home. This gets through the middle. Base hit. 2 runs will score as this comes all the way in, and Hallis will grab it. A 2 RBI single for Matt Drake. 4-0 Darien. 1 ball, 2 strikes, make it 2-2 rather. And a called strike 3 on a fastball at the knees, and the inning over. First strikeout, but the damage gets done. 4 runs and make it 2 left on base. For J.J. Getz, he throws 85 pitches in 3 innings of work, 6 runs, 4 earned, 5 hits, 4 walks, hit 1 batter, 3 strikeouts, and 1 wild pitch, the 1-2. Fastball low, 2-2. Six nothing. Darien on top. Now the pitch on the way. And smoke to left center field, to the fence. It is gone. This is absolutely smoked to left center field. It'll go off the fence, and a strong throw to second. He is safe. Slid around the tag. An outstanding play by Mike Tucci in center field to get it in. It turns into a double for O'Malley, and it's still 7-0 with a runner on second and 1 out. For Brereton, by the way, all this first pitch swinging, he is at a cool and comfortable 51 pitches.
And he's had great control of the strike zone. We've only seen 1 walk on the day, 1 hit.
That's the 3rd batter to be hit in this game. Lewis has struggled a hair with his control as Sean O'Malley will step in. He walked, grounded to short, doubled. He scored twice. Left-handed batter. That's low. 1 ball, no strikes. Now they've got him picked off first. The throw down to second, and the tag made. He climbs back on the bag. He is safe. So Norwalk gets the 3-1 win over Ridgefield. Darien, of course, the 23 win over Danbury. The other 2 games, by the way, Ward 8-1 over Greenwich, and Trumbull with a walk-off, Frank, a 2-1 victory over St. Joseph in baseball.
And that was a really good game. Came down to the wire. It was an absolute pitching duel between Joe Nemchek for Trumbull, who just dominated the whole way. He came away with 7 strikeouts, pitched all the way to the end. It was a complete game win for him, and just a real tough loss for St. Joe's there.
And you wonder, coming back off Friday, do you bring Nemchek back somehow today? Do you somehow try to save him for Wednesday? What do you do if you're a coach?
Well, we saw earlier in the year when Trumbull and Ward played, Nemchek came in and got the save, which I think might be the play. They'll start someone else, use him out of the bullpen as needed. It's a game they've got to feel confident in. Ward being the only lower seed that was able to advance. They had a very good win against Greenwich. We're down 1-0 in the 6th, able to get 2 in the 6th, and then exploded for 6th in the final inning before putting them away. But all roads right now lead to the Blue Wave.
Yeah, I agree. The Blue Wave looks so good in their game. You got to like the pitching there. You know, Richard Brereton as well as Andrew Winch, and that's what we were saying off the air on Friday. Brereton's really good. Winch is probably their ace. We haven't seen their best yet.
No, and they'll definitely throw him today. He's going to be well rested. But more importantly, as great as their pitching has been, which was what we focused on Friday, the bats were just unbelievable. Everyone in the lineup was hitting, and they were hitting the ball very, very well. There was a lot of hard contact. They were hitting the ball deep into the outfield. It's a very tough lineup to get through right now.
Hold on to that baseball thought for a moment as we're going to take a look down at the field. There is a helicopter that's been on the field for a couple of hours now, and it's actually the ownership of the New York Islanders. Of course, the Islanders run the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, who are right next door, and new ownership coming in for the Islanders as it is.
It's a very exciting process. They're bringing in ownership now. I think they want to get a feel of what the farm system is like. We talked, there are rumors that they may be looking into relocation out to Long Island. We know there are a lot of Islanders fans that would like to bring them back from Brooklyn. So an exciting year for the Islanders. One of their best seasons since 1993 was the last time they were able to advance past the first round.
Without making improvements to the Nassau Coliseum, the Islanders aren't going back to Long Island, so they probably have to stay in Brooklyn. I think it makes sense to move the Sound Tigers. I mean, you hate to lose the Fairfield County team, but I've also heard rumblings that that building won't be empty with ice hockey for very long, so we'll see. But in any event, turning back to baseball, it feels like for so many people, all roads lead not only to Darien, but to Ward as well. And again, pitching. Reese Maniscalco, John Natoli. Could that be your FCAC championship? Of course, the other teams would like their say.
And Natoli will be a big factor. Ward lost in that opening game to Trumbull. They lost 3-2. It was their first loss of the season. But they out-hit Trumbull 12-5 in that game. They left 14 runners on base. That was a big issue for them. The coaching staff felt like they let one get away. They would have started the season 6-0 had they won that game. But Ward comes in as hot as anyone else. They've won 9 of their last 11 after they went through a stretch of losing 4 of 5.
I should tell you we're a full show today, so we'll run a little bit into extra innings today, if you pardon the bad pun. A moment on softball before we switch over to lacrosse. We've got 2 city matchups, or town matchups, if you will.
And what a cool semifinal it's going to be for softball as they head up to Sacred Heart this week. The first one is a battle for Bridgeport. Trumbull and St. Joe's will be the first matchup. And we saw Nicole Williams in their quarterfinal game.
Good.
A complete game shutout with 21 strikeouts, which is just, it's otherworldly right now, what that team is doing, the consistency to reload every year. But then I think a more intriguing matchup has got to be West Hill, the number 2 seed, versus the number 6 seed Stanford in the second semifinal. And what a great game that's going to be.
And I'm telling you, if anyone can beat the Cadets, I do believe Trumbull can do it. I'm not saying they will, but I do know that Trumbull has given that team a battle.
And you can't sleep on West Hill either right now.
I agree.
They had the biggest win in the first round. They took out Ludlow 10-1. They have won 15 of their last 16, and they are playing as well as anyone, including St. Joe's right now in the FCAC.
And don't forget about our friends from Stanford, because the Black Knights, they've got Sarah Staley, and they're a relentless team. They keep coming at you, and they'll take advantage of your mistakes. With all that said, we should switch over to boys lacrosse. We had a boys lacrosse game here on Saturday, and thank goodness for us, it was the best game of the weekend.
We finally got one right. It was just, we were so due for it, and you look around, Darien took care of St. Joe's the way we thought they would.
22-2.
We said, here's your compensation prize for making the FCAC playoffs. St. Joe's, you get the Blue Wave, who are playing as well as any team in the nation right now. And they're going to get a lot of consideration for a national championship if they can run the table. Ridgefield had a little bit of struggles in the first half against Fairfield Ludlow, but they were able to right the ship, took care of business. Staples able to knock off Greenwich, but like we saw, New Canaan and Wilton, it was a back-and-forth game all the way. 7-6 was the final. It was a really good one.
Let's look at the highlights. This is from Saturday at Dunning Field right here on Nutmeg Sports. Today, the New Canaan Rams take on the Wilton Warriors in the quarterfinals, as we said, of the FCAC Boys Lacrosse Playoffs. The winner will meet the Ridgefield Tigers. It'll be turned over and spun back. Here come the Rams, firing it on net, and a big blast from 21 yards out. It's 1-0 on the goal by Clayton Burt. Apelt looked like he might try to turn and fire, but he decided against it. So a quick feed across. Kyle Smith, the bouncer, scores. 2-0. Now behind the cage, Apelt makes an approach, stops, puts on the brakes, goes behind again to Smith. Smith to O'Connell, the bouncer, and in it goes, 3-0. And then finally, the Warriors able to get on the board. It's Bardwell to make it a 3-1 game.
And almost a zero-angle shot there. He buries that one upstairs under the crossbar. Morris never had a chance.
And he sends it along down the near side. Outside the numbers to McGovern. 3 minutes to go. First half, a 4-1 game. He gets close and scores. Warriors trailing 4-2. We're down to 7. Stepping inside. Needing to get a shot down to 5. Thrown along. The shot coming at the buzzer, and they score! With 2.5 to go in the first half. It's a 1-goal game, 4-3. Trying to make an approach, but won't get an opening. Sends it back out high. They'll go from Bardwell to the right, and they tie it! It'll be Harrison Cook. We got a new game. It's 5-all.
After he came up with the initial ground ball, wisely stepped off to the side as Kyle Smith unloads from 15 yards out on the hash marks and beats Calabrese short side.
That game's scheduled for 5 o'clock. They will play. Ridgefield will have it on the HAN Network. Quick ball movement, looking, score! Tie it up again. Sends along to Clayton Burt. And rocketed on net to untie it, Jack Holzer. It's a 7-6 game. And away we go, 27 remaining. Buckle up here at Dunning. Drake, near side. Sends it back. Turned over. Spun away and taken back by James Cravato. The New Canaan Rams will advance with a... All right. You know, this is play-by-play of a whole different style now as we watch the helicopter begin to take off here, Frank. It's a magnificent vehicle.
And it was a real level takeoff. Good job here as he just gets the nose down, breaks through that first barrier of atmosphere.
Needed to get past the light stanchion, which it did, moving from right to left, and out of Harbor Yard it goes, heading across I-95 and back to parts yonder. We will take a break on Nutmeg Sports. We have more to do, including the introduction of Athletes of the Week. We'll talk more lacrosse tomorrow.
Exciting. Going to be a lot of good lacrosse this week, both Tuesday and Thursday.
Ridgefield and New Canaan at 5 o'clock. Darien and Staples at 7:30 down at Brian McMahon High School. Frank back with all of that tomorrow as well. Don returns. We take a break. We're out right here on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
At the Language School in Ridgefield, we teach practical language for real life, tailored to your professional needs or those of your children. Offering more than a dozen languages, the school specializes in creating customized classes for businesses, government agencies, and healthcare professionals in Fairfield and Westchester counties. Native speakers from around the world will instruct students of all ages in the language and the culture using a hands-on method. Find out more about what makes us different at thelanguageschoolglobal.com or call us at 203-241-7010.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
Do you need help reaching or maintaining your fitness goals? For over 20 years, Mike Pernice has tailored his time and expertise to clients on both coasts whose schedules demand flexibility and accountability. Mike is a certified lifestyle manager and has been called upon to help his clients eliminate negative behaviors such as coping with stress, improving their time management, setting realistic life goals, and cutting down compulsive behavior. If you're ready to start working toward a more energetic, productive, and healthier you, call Mike Pernice.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Chaplinsky.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports, live at the home of the Bridgeport Bluefish, the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Don rejoins me. We've got athletes of the week. We got athletes to congratulate as well.
We do, and we start off with Jillian Kane of New Canaan Softball is your athlete of the week for last week. With just over 600 votes, Kane threw her first career no-hitter as New Canaan beat Bridgeport Central 2-1 Wednesday in Waveney Park. She walked 3, struck out 13 in the same game. The lone run she allowed came via ground out in the top of the 7th inning. She also singled and drove in a run. Catherine McAvoy of Greenwich Golf and Trumbull pitcher Ali Zabo, with just under 400 votes, were second and third.
All right, Andrew Mitchell's going to be excited by this one. He's running our audio control today. His buddy Connor Langen of Greenwich Baseball is the boys' winner this week. Connor, 362 votes, topping Justin Green of Trinity Catholic Lacrosse and Michael Gonzalez of Norwalk Baseball. Gonzalez, of course, with the 16 strikeouts against St. Joe's. But it was Connor Langen who threw a 4-hitter and struck out 7 Falcons when the Greenwich Cardinals won their 5th straight road game with a 5-0 victory over Fairfield Ludlow. So congratulations to Connor Langen of Greenwich Baseball.
And now we move on to the nominees for Athletes of the Week for this week. You can vote at HAN.network. And first up, Mike Bernstein, Ludlow Baseball, had 3 hits, including a triple, drove in 3 runs as Ludlow qualified for the state tournament with a 10-2 win over Stamford at Kiwanis Field. Bernstein also scored twice. So Mike Bernstein's your first nominee.
Casey Brown of Darien Baseball is up next. A triple shy of the cycle. The Blue Wave throttled Danbury 20-3 in the FCAC quarterfinals on Friday at Darien High School. All he did was get on base 5 times with 2 hit by pitches, a home run, a double, and a single. Scored 4, drove in 3.
That's a tough 5, perfect way to get on base
Had a really good day.
Pete Berger of Staples Lacrosse is next. He came up with 13 saves, shut out Greenwich in the 4th quarter as Staples pulled away for a 13-8 win in Saturday's FCAC quarterfinal in Westport. It was the first FCAC tournament win in program history.
Mark Gallioni of Ridgefield Lacrosse is up next. 6 points, 4 goals, had 2 assists. The Tigers rolled over Ludlow 16-5 in the FCAC quarterfinals.
Mike Gonzalez of Norwalk pitcher tossed a perfect game, a playoff gem, I saw the PG. As the Bears defeated Ridgefield 3-1 in the FCAC quarterfinals Friday at Nathan Hale Middle School, he allowed 2 hits, both singles, and 1 earned run, walked 1, struck out 7 in the complete game.
Colin Minikis of Darien Lacrosse racked up 8 points. The top-seeded Blue Wave just went right by St. Joseph 22-2.
Drew Morris of New Canaan Lacrosse made 12 saves as the Rams edged Wilton 7-6 in the FCAC quarterfinals Saturday. The Warriors were shut out in the 3rd quarter as New Canaan built a 3-0 lead. Morris stopped the first 6 shots in the game.
John Natoli of Fairfield Ward Baseball is our next nominee. We saw him right here on the HAN Network. He struck out 14 and held the Bears to just 4 hits on a complete game performance as Ward clinched an FCAC playoff spot.
Trumbull pitcher Joe Nemchek is up next. He had a complete game victory. Great performance, 2-1 win over St. Joe's in the FCAC quarterfinals. Allowed 1 run on 5 hits, 1 walk, and struck out 6.
Will Perry of Greenwich Lacrosse is our next nominee. He scored 5 goals, had an assist when the Big Red won a 17-10 decision from Trumbull.
Eric Vanderels, Brian McMahon track and field athlete, won the distance double at the FCAC championships, finishing first in the 1,600-meter race and also winning the 3,200-meter race, winning the former by more than a second and the latter by more than 3 seconds.
Finally, Joe Zanchetti of St. Joseph Baseball finished the regular season with a 5-0 record after tossing a 4-hitter at Trinity Catholic. He struck out 9.
So those are your boys' nominees. Now starting off for the girls. Greenwich golfer Catherine McAvoy shot a 3 under par 34 to lead Greenwich to a 172-188 win over Fairfield Ward at the Griffin E. Harris course. Her score was a Greenwich High School record for the course.
Hannah Belanger of Wilton Softball is up next. She drove in the game-winning run in the 8th inning of the Warriors' 6-5 win over Norwalk on Wednesday. She had 4 hits.
Jordan Benzaken of West Hill Softball, the catcher, had 2 hits and 3 RBI as West Hill beat Ludlow 10-1 in the FCAC quarterfinals.
Kanajde Brown is up next from Bridgeport Central track and field. She won FCAC titles in the 100 and 200-meter dashes during the conference championships Saturday in Danbury. You want to know a time? How about 12.28 in the 100 dash?
Nice. Sticking with track and field, Bridget Charavel of Danbury. She won the 100-meter and 300-meter hurdles and was part of the victorious 4x100 relay, helping the Hatters beat Ridgefield by 13 points and win the FCAC championships.
Of course, there's always Hannah DeBalzi. She won the FCAC championship in the 1600-meter run at 4:59.98. Also the 3200 at 10:42.89. Just the great Hannah DeBalzi from, of course, Staples High.
Next up, New Canaan lacrosse player Catherine Granito had 4 points on 3 goals and 1 assist, and also caused 5 turnovers as New Canaan beat Norwalk 14-4 in the FCAC quarterfinals. The Rams led 8-1 at the half and cruised to the 10-goal decision.
Wait, Granito. Where have I heard that name before?
I don't know, but I seem to remember there was a Granito.
Yeah, there might have been a Granito around here. Paige Mottner of Greenwich Lacrosse is up next. A game-best 6 points on 4 goals and 2 assists. The 4th-seeded Cardinals got past 5th-seeded Welton 16-12 in the FCAC quarterfinals on Friday.
Caitlin McMullion of Ridgefield Lacrosse scored 6 goals, including a game winner 20 seconds into overtime as the Tigers beat Greenwich 8-7 at Cardinal Stadium.
From Greenwich High School track is Emily Philippides. She broke the FCAC mark in the 800 when the sophomore ran a 2:12.34 for the 3rd place finishing Cardinals.
Lucy Picard, a junior midfielder from Ridgefield High School, broke a 6-6 tie by scoring on a bounce shot with just under 10 minutes to play as the Tigers beat Fairfield Ward 7-6 in an FCAC quarterfinal matchup.
Maddie Santora of Stamford softball, 3 for 4, a double, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. The 6th-seeded Black Knights defeated number 3 Wilton 7-2.
Ali Zabo of Trumbull hit the go-ahead 2-run single in the 5th inning and pitched the Eagles to a 6-4 win over Darien High in the FCAC quarterfinals. Zabo struck out 8 and walked just 1 while allowing 5 hits.
And then finally, Nicole Williams. Yes, we said it. We're going to say it again. Struck out 21 batters in St. Joseph's 2-0 FCAC quarterfinal win over Danbury. When Danbury put the tying runs on base after a couple of errors in the 6th inning, Williams struck out the next 3 batters. The Hatters finished with 2 hits on the day. You only get 7 innings. You only get 21 outs.
An impressive performance. The only way you're going to improve that is a couple of dropped third strikes, but that doesn't appear to have been the case this time.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And a big day coming up here. I know you'll be gone for a couple of days, but we'll get you back here.
I'll be back. I'll be around, and then we will see you on Thursday.
We will see you on Thursday. Frank will be here tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll also have Dave Stewart in as well for a couple of days. So we'll have the team around and a lot to do. Of course, we've got baseball today with the 2 semifinal games beginning at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow we'll have the 2 boys lacrosse games down in Norwalk at Brian McMahon High School beginning at 5 o'clock. Wednesday, we're back here for the FCAC Baseball Championship. That is scheduled for 7:30. We will be here on Wednesday night. And then on Thursday, the FCAC Girls and Boys Lacrosse Championships Game 1 at 4, Game 2 at 7. So, big week.
That's a busy week.
It is indeed, and I want to make sure, I said 7:30, I wanted to go back and look. 7 o'clock for the championship here on Wednesday night. I want to make sure I get that right, so. That's what we call lingering, an extra second in the business.
Great. From the aviation desk here, we have more flyovers. That's all right. It's not
what a wild day. Wow.
It's been crazy.
Helicopters, planes, oh my. Thanks to Jason Klein, the president of Force 3 Pro Gear, for joining us, and Frank Granito as well. And to you.
Yeah. Hey, great show. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mentioned Andrew, Eric Gendron directing on the other side as well. That'll do it for Nutmeg Sports. Again, we're back with you at 5 o'clock. Baseball today. Game number 1, Darien and Norwalk, followed by the nightcap at 7:30. The Trumbull Eagles taking on the Fairfield Ward Mustangs. For Donald Eng and our entire HAN Network crew, I'm Rob Adams. Thanks for watching Nutmeg Sports right here in Bridgeport at the ballpark at Harbor Yard on the HAN Network.